So, if you've been anywhere on the internet recently, you've probably seen this variant cover of Batgirl 41, now infamously associated with Change the Cover. It depicts Joker holding Barbara Gordon, also known as Batgirl, hostage. Her face is painted like the Joker, his gun is drawn, and while he's grinning wickedly, she looks dead scared. And my honest reaction to this cover is that it is amazing. It's so well drawn. It shows the character of the Joker perfectly. It's showing exactly how insane he is by having him merely stand there rather than laugh gassing someone or stabbing someone or blowing a building up or punching Batman or any of these things that usually artists use to depict how, well, harmful he is. It is so scary to see Joker standing there that it scared real life social justice warriors, and that makes the cover all the more impressive to me. Of all the depictions of the Joker that I've seen, this is perhaps one of the more legitimate and actually, frankly, frightening versions out there. Now, proponents of the cover generally are older fans that prefer this kind of dark and edgy tone. It makes no secret of who is bad and who is good, and all while giving every character personalities that, while deranged, are distinctive. Far from being the puritanical model where you can't hurt someone's feelings, in which the new Batgirl setting is set, this is a true fictional universe where the human condition is more or less beat out of people for the enjoyment and intellectual stimulation of the viewer. This feeling isn't really out of place with something like Frank Miller's The Killing Joke. This isn't out of place with something like the animated series, or darker material that has been produced even as recently as Nolan's frankly terrible movie trilogy that basically took all the dark elements of the Miller style without any of the symbolism or anything that I'd consider the true essence of the Miller style. Though, going out on a limb here, I'd say that the Batman 41 Joker certainly does make Heath Ledger's performance as the Joker look like a party clown. Apart from this, though, there's an issue of creative freedom. Now, because of SJWs, this cover will never be released. No one, not even those who enjoy it, will get their hands on it, and that's a shame to me that DC would pander to SJWs on this issue. On the plus side, I agree, like I said, this is sad, though we need to remember something. This came from a new Batgirl run, which is a very different tone, as I'll come to explain. And on this note, I don't think it's a pure issue of censorship, but more of branding. Those who are against it are certainly, in my non-so-humble opinion, very good connoisseurs of art, but that's more or less a judgment call. And I'll get to a modest proposal for how to solve this dilemma in the fourth act of this video. Now, opponents come in many different varieties, but the only ones who are worth listening to are those who simply aren't fans of the old style. Rather, they like the new Batgirl aesthetic. It's more politically correct, some might say. It's lighter hearted, some might say. It's simply softer. And in a way I can understand this. Now does this mean that the variant cover is still bad? No, in fact I think it's a kind of a creative twist on things. After all, if we consider what the Joker does, if we consider his role as a disruptor, he comes into an environment, breaks laws, kills people, causes chaos, which the Batman then has to come and pick up. This cover is doing the same thing, and so I don't think Joker's presence, storyline aside, is of an accident. However, like the citizens of Gotham who don't like Joker's presence, fans who like the new aesthetic have no duty to respect the darker tone or like the new cover. And really, if it comes down to it, if they have to accept that some people like a darker, grittier Batman that isn't, new Batgirl, then people who like old Frank Miller dark Batman have to accept that there are new fans that like the lighter side of Batman. I myself would rather watch the 60s television series rather than the Nolan trilogy. So the outrage is palatable, and rather than being a matter of pure expression, there's an issue where once again DC has stuck their foot in their mouth and confused exactly which fan likes which kind of material. This is completely on DC, which is why I came up with what I feel is a very solid proposal to DC to solve this issue, to keep new Batgirl separate from Frank Miller Batman, and have everyone enjoy the Batman that they like. DC Comics, in the past, you've really done a good job of giving fans the variety they want. Even now, the different kinds of styles and media that Batman has been presented on in the past, there has been a Batman for everyone. However, as wallets shrink, your ability to do this shrinks as well. There's not enough money to do so many unique runs, so you focus where you can. The companies that ultimately win, however, in the game of capitalism are the ones that are pro-consumer. And you, of all entities in this debate, have the duty to deliver as much as the fans have a duty to support the various comics, toys, movies, video games, if they so desire more. And since you have such a spotlight right now, I propose to you a solution free of charge, and because you aren't running the variant cover, of very low risk. Simply put, right now this image is available only in low quality JPEGs that are usually watermarked and that don't really look official for anything but a computer desktop. Since you won't run the cover out of respect for Batgirl fans, release the variant as a standalone high-res image with as much detail as you can get on it, complete with and without artistic signature for authenticity, and do this online for free. Most print shops will print posters or good quality images on photo quality paper for cheap, and given the ability to do so, fans who like the cover can and probably will spend the $5-6 to make a real copy for themselves to frame on their wall or comic collection, or places where they stick cool pieces of comic art. If you get a high number of hits and downloads on that image, and there's a positive enough vibe from, say, a simple media campaign where people post images of their printed covers along with a hashtag, maybe something like saved the cover, you have the market data you need to not only measure if re-releasing the recolored Killing Joke is a good idea, but starting new forms of Batman in that Frank Miller style, whether they be comic books, video games, figurines, all these sorts of things that can give fans of the older style new material to work with. This way, the New Age Batgirl fans keep their copy of Batman. The Old Age Frank Miller Batman fans have their new material, so they don't have to go and seek out someone else's version of Batman. And you, without even a penny of the cost, have just run a media campaign that pays for itself. Everyone will reap the rewards without having to put out much effort at all. Think about it, DC Comics. It's not an easy time for anyone right now, but the only way to get back in the green is by being pro-consumer. How else better to do so than to give the fans what they want? This has been Robert Stoll of Stoll Review, and if you like this video, go ahead and like, comment on it, and if you're new to the channel, please do consider subscribing. I have a new video every week, and that being said, have a nice day, y'all.